In addition to doing the 2 double propane tank, 20-pound propane tank conversion on the holiday trailer there, we also picked up a Camco dual propane hard cover, just cover up the propane tanks. So this be it here. That big box for just that. That's all that is in there, and you got to put it together. So that's awesome. The 2 halves just come nested inside each other here with a zip tie holding them together. Gives you a propane tank cover instructions, and here's your hardware, which is glued with hot glue to the inside of the cover. All right, literally glued with hot glue. Hot glue gunned it. That is awesome. So you end up having to tear the bag apart to pull that out. And then look at that nice mess. Hopefully you can see that where the glue is still, let's see here, where the glue is still stuck to the to the inside. That's, you know, at least it's on the inside. Who really cares, I guess. It's just kind of funny. It's a bit of a mess. Looks like I need a pair of scissors or cutters here to get the zip tie off. One sec. All right, so we're back, and here's the scissors to get the zip tie off. Well, hopefully the rest of this is built as well as that zip tie. That took some effort. Not that those scissors are all that great anyways. What's it showing here? Looks like some instruction manuals. Awesome, they show you to use pliers instead of a wrench. That's fantastic. But I guess, you know, I don't know, if you're out in camping already and you might have a pair of pliers but not a set of wrenches. Not me, but somebody might. Alright, so I basically use the hardware to bolt those 2 halves together. What is in this side? Oh, so this is a part I wouldn't like. Look at this. Coco, quit crying for your ball. I can't get to it, and neither can you. Okay? I would have to tear a shed down to get to that particular ball. You got 20 here. Play with one of those. So, the hot glue, right? Who really cares if it's on the inside? Are you really going to see it? You know, no. Look at the outside. This is the top flap cover for the propane tanks, where you actually are going to open that up so you can turn your tanks off and on, you know, open and close the valves. Who wants to see that? Like, that is just poor Camco. Do better. Although it did peel off fairly well. Let's see if I can get the rest off. The big chunk did, the little ones will not. Like, I'm scratching the plastic trying to get that light bit off. The really big part didn't really adhere, which is a good thing. Glad that did happen. So this stuff I might be able to peel off. It's still, no, it adhered really well. So both sides still has freaking glue. Definitely do better, Camco. That's unnecessary. Okay, now what do we need for tools? What do we got for hardware? Coco, never mind that ball. All right. Okay, we got some turn knobs that I'm sure that's for the flap, and that is literally just threads and plastic. They couldn't even embed like a threaded sleeve or something inside there. That's, I don't know. I'm starting to not get all that thrilled about this part of it. All right, and then you got the 2 nut parts to for this cover to lift off. And then you got a bunch of screws, and at least they provided nylon locking nuts for the nuts and bolts that are gonna, or I guess machine screw, that are gonna actually hold the two clamshells together. So we will go find a little star screwdriver and a wrench in whatever size that is. Actually, I got the wrenches right here. Let's see what it is. If you got standard wrenches, okay. If you got SAE, it is 11/32. If you're running metrics, it looks to be a 9. I don't have a 9. 10 is too big, the 8 is too small, so I'd say it's a 9 mil if you got metrics. But otherwise, it is exactly an 11/32 in a standard. All right. I will get this put together. All right, so this side here, on this side, has a lip that this one goes under, and then it's opposite on this side. This side has the lip, and this one goes under it. LP gas, it's otherwise they look the same front and back. So I'm going to make this the front, and I'm going to put all the machine screw heads towards the front. Just looks a little nicer than the nuts.
It's like a family tree, part of you and part of me. And if we should separate, go your own way, I won't wait.
Bring the funk back.
Okay, once you get all those tedious little machine screws and nuts on, that is what you end up with. I chose to put all the machine screw heads towards what I'm going to have as the front of the trailer. Just, I don't know, it looks a little nicer, I guess. Now we have this little bit of hardware, which are little thumb nuts, and then bolts with a bit of plastic on the end. I said thumb nuts are There's just thread into plastic. They're like, they really could have put embedded a nut or a threaded sleeve in there or something, but it's in a plastic. I don't expect that to last too long. A few times coming off and on should pretty much destroy those. So we'll see how that ends up. Now what you want to do is plan which way you're going to have as your front, because this cover can go on either direction, but once you have it on, it'll only hinge up in one direction. So I want it to hinge. Actually, I want the open part to be towards the back of the trailer. Two reasons for that. One is that's where my propane connections are on my tanks, is on the back side, and also is if I happen to forget to tighten these screws down, or they come off or something, then the wind is actually going to be pushing this closed, not flipping up and ripping it off and leaving it on the highway somewhere. So I am going to make this hinge towards the front of the trailer like that, this being the front of the trailer. So all it is some plastic clips for hinges that go on 3 separate little round cutouts, or I guess the cutout is rectangular, but it leaves a round piece for it to hinge on. So you just kind of shove that on there, give it a little bit of support on the back side because that bent in really easy, and that is down, and that's basically how that will sit. The beautiful glue on top there. All right, now I'm actually gonna have to come over to that side because you're not gonna be able to see. All right, these, so there's your thumb nuts right there. I'll give you a little closer look at those. And yeah, like there's just threaded plastic, really. You know, I'm sure I can go buy some thumb nuts that are much better quality than that and replace these. This is the bolt side of it, so you just shove this through these holes here. Put the thumb nuts down for a second here, and what you'll see is, so they have these rectangular holes cut in both front and back so that you can hinge this either way. And you're basically just going to shove these up through those rectangular holes. Now you want these to be able to rotate this way but not that way. So if you see here, you got a little more excess plastic on this side, a little less on this side. So when you put them in, when you rotate them up, that's going to butt up against the lid portion, right? And so you want to set these in towards this, with this extra plastic, towards the lid, not towards the outside, and then that leaves this open so that it can fall forward and let you and get out of the way so you can actually open that lid. So this is how it goes. You basically just shove it in and it just snaps into place. Just, I say, by, you know, whatever, maybe it ain't all that easy, but it'll go. There we go, and it just snaps into place. If I don't know if I actually caught that. If you look at both sides here, it's got a little bit of a catch lip that actually catches the bar. And so you see here now, if we have it straight up, it's button here. Hopefully you can see that. It's button up, right? So it'll only go basically straight up vertical, but it can fall forward quite a ways. If we put these in the opposite way, it wouldn't really fall forward and get out of our way. So we'll put the other one in, same way. Okay, well, my battery died just as I was putting in this this second hinge right here, but it's in. Lid goes up and down as it should, and then put on our little wing nuts here. So all you do is you flip that into the little notches on the hinge right here, and then you screw these down. Now they do have a bit of a lip on one side and an indent in the other. Lip goes down. And then, if you can hear that there, these the lid here has a couple of little tabs on either side here, and those actually catch on the ribs of the nut that you know, will basically prevent it from just backing off due to vibration, anything like that. So as long as you never forget to screw these down tight, whether or not, if you have this flap opening towards the front of your trailer, you shouldn't lose the flap, right? Because that shouldn't be able to come loose, right? And that's it. That's, you know, it's on, it's there, you know. It's no, I'm gonna do a little quick review on it because I don't know, it's a cover. It's lightweight. It's not going to add a bunch of weight to your trailer, stuff like that. The plastic is soft. Really disappointed in the glue stuck to it. Like, really, do you have to hot glue the parts to it? Can't you? You already had a zip tie there for the little instruction book. Why not just zip tie the parts to it as with the same zip tie? You know, it'd save you a process right there. Other than that, it's fairly light plastic, fairly soft plastic as well. I did use my drill to tighten up all these screws. If you don't have a drill with a clutch and a really light clutch, I wouldn't do that. I would do them by hand. It would be very easy to pull these screws through this plastic, these screw heads. In my opinion, little machine screw heads and little nuts like that should never be going direct up against the plastic. Those should have a wider washer on both sides to spread that load across that plastic. But just make sure you don't over tighten them and pull them through. On my drill, I end up turning the clutch down to 6. That drill has a clutch that goes up to 24. You know, and then 25 is drill mode. It will not clutch. Other than that, it says LP gas right here. It says patented down there. It's got a couple of little tabs on the bottom here. I'm probably going to use those, and I'm assuming what they're for is a bungee cord. Just put her on the bottom underneath your propane tanks and everything so that the wind can't pick this up during transport while you're pulling your trailer. Yeah, other than that, it's a propane cover. It'll, keep the weather off your tanks, off your regulator, stuff like that. So that's about it for it. Let's go put it on the trailer. Okay, I actually lost the footage for the end of this video, and then we ended up getting a bunch of snow, so I'm recording this a couple of days later. But anyways, this is where we're at here. We're at the front of the trailer where I've recently converted this to handle 2 propane tanks instead of 1. We just kept with the 20 pounders, and then we got the propane cover, Camco cover. What I've done is I took a piece of rope and I knotted it on one side, and I put a carabiner on the other side. I don't think like you need anything big. Even just one of those keychain style ones would probably work just fine. But this one here actually says it will hold 25 pounds or 11 kilograms. It has these little slip locks to keep it from opening, and this is basically just going to allow me to tie the cover kind of onto the trailer. I don't know if it's really all that necessary, but it will prevent the wind from potentially getting up underneath it as you're driving down the highway and working it off of the tanks, and then eventually flying off and losing it, maybe even damaging somebody else's vehicle. So I thought it was worth the, you know, nothing. I had everything laying around, so it really didn't cost me anything. So anyways, let's throw this onto the tanks. So it goes like this. You just you know, pretty straightforward. You just throw it up over top of the tanks, just like that. Like I say, I put the door to where it opens towards the front. So if these happen to come loose, the wind of me going down the highway isn't going to lift this off and just flip that right off and lose the lid. It should actually just keep the lid closed. So that was a bit of an idea instead of doing it the other way. And then now that we're down here, we should be able to see our rope here. There's our rope with the carabiner. Hopefully you can see this as I do it. And then we're just going to hook it into the other side. Pull that little latch down, so just like that. So just like that, if you can see that. And you know, it's not tight. It's not tight at all. It's loose, but it's enough that if the wind were to catch it, it would only be able to lift a little ways, and will keep it on the trailer at least. And then for the inside here, just open this up. You can see in here you have access to your tanks. You know, you can open your valves, close your valves, both sides. You can reach in here and switch back and forth between your two tanks. The only thing I can't do with this on is actually see the indicator that it flipped over to the other tank due to the primary tank being empty. And then I like to keep my R pins for my weight distribution bars on top of the tanks just for safekeeping. So that is it. Close it up. Oh, the wind's starting to pick up here. Hopefully you can hear that. But yeah, just close her up like that, and that's it. It's done. It can't lift off no more, and we won't lose it going down the highway. So, you know, it looks pretty good for what it is. It'll do the job. And yeah, I don't know. It's a tank cover. Keep the snow off it, keep the rain off it. Keep your tanks looking a little nicer for a little longer, I guess. Maybe they won't rust out as quickly or anything like that. If you like this video and you find some value in it, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. It helps this video get promoted to other people that might be interested in it. And other than that, have a great day. Thank you for watching.